Jessica Sheffield, you are back. Very nice to have you here. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Rich.
So I'm excited to hear about your updates because we've talked about schools, books, Nosara Cicla. We've talked about a lot of stuff over the years.
We have.
So I'm excited to hear what's going on. Let's just kick it off. But for anybody who doesn't know you, please introduce yourself once again and let's get rolling.
So my name is Jessica Sheffield, and I'm one of the co-founders of Del Mar Academy, and like the mom of Guardians of Nature. I've been involved in the community for 15 years now, and very excited to share what we're up to.
Now, not only are you one of the founders of Del Mar Academy, which a lot of people know about, and it seems like it's the COVID thing and the reopening, and there's just a lot of fresh energy around Del Mar Academy. That seems to be the case. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But you've also been deeply involved in the local public schools. We'll put up links to your previous podcast so people can watch and see your past. But let's just go ahead and jump into where are we at today with what's happening? Like, what do you want the world to know about?
Well, Guardians of Nature keeps growing its impact, not only locally, but nationally and now internationally. And I see Nosara as an innovation lab. I'll talk later about what's going on outside our borders, but we'd like to talk about what's going on in our public schools and the education system in Nosara.
Now, it's interesting. You said you see Nosara as an innovation lab.
Yes.
And then you said our public schools right after that. So I'm excited to see where you're going with this.
Yes. So, as you know, I'm passionate about education. And, even before talking about education, I like to talk about trajectories. I am a firm believer that, trajectories is part of when you have a vision is where you're going. And something that I've always been inspired as a Costa Rican is that in the 1980s, we almost lost all our forests. All our forest cover was almost gone. And Costa Rica was bold, innovative, and changed its trajectory, changed its direction. And for me, this has always been so inspiring. There's actually a map where you can see where we started with almost the whole country with forest cover. And then we started losing little by little until we almost had no forest left. We started with like 75% and went down to 20%. And then the country was able to change its direction, its trajectory. And that truly has always inspired me. How changing direction can change.
No, it actually can work because we give up hope and we all think it's all gone. You just shared, that's incredibly interesting. Most people here right now have no clue that Costa Rica was in danger of losing its trees because it's known as being so green.
We could have been, I always think, what was our alternative? If we continue on that same path, will we look like Haiti right now? Where would we be, like socially, economically, and environmentally, with no water, no ecotourism, and not with a lot of the things that makes this country rich in many levels. So
right.
I think changing trajectory and choosing a trajectory is essential to where you want to be.
Okay, so take us to how do you make that happen here?
So, I always have seen when we co-founded Del Mar Academy that we didn't want Del Mar to be an island. We wanted to connect dots and reach out to the community. And I've always been involved in little ways and big ways in the public school system. Now I'm working more closely with them. And since 2007, we started a collective approach. We call it Regenerative Schools. And the vision is to create the schools of the future for Costa Rica. And what are the schools of the future of Costa Rica? So it's schools that coexist with nature, where social and emotional needs are met, but there's high quality education, and schools that have an impact in their community. They're the heart of the community, and they transform the community from within. So we've been working since 2019 with principals and school boards. And,
now, when you say principals, are you saying just in Costa or just in Nosara or international or?
Well, there's many levels to what Guardians is doing. So I'll focus in what we're doing with the local schools and how what we're doing in Nosara is having a ripple effect nationally and also in all Latin America.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. So I'll explain that, but Nosara is our lab. Nosara is where we test everything, and everything that is successful, we share. One of the things that Guardians has is that we want to break all barriers to access this information and the resources that we create, the strategies that we create. So it is very important what happens here, because if we can create this model, it cannot be adapted for other places. And like I say, the ecosystem of projects that Guardian has comes all together in Nosara. So for the private schools, the private sector got involved, and different hotels and companies stepped up and sponsored. They adopted a school. So, we have Harmony Hotel, we have Lagarta Lodge, we have Gilded Iguana, we have the hardware store that actually adopted the Serapio Lopez School. We have Olas Verdes. We also have Blue Spirit. So there's several companies or the private sector that adopted a school, and they help with resources, they help with volunteers, they help with technical support, and it's been truly amazing. Now the schools have a composting system, a recycling system, and this year we are also collaborating with the Nosara Food Bank, and they're going to start and Harmony Projects, and they're going to have their edible gardens, and everything that we do is it's a step by step, right? When you have a trajectory, you don't get to the moon in one shot. It is a step by step process. And we do see this process, as going very solid. And, part of the reason I'm here too is to invite others to join this effort. We just don't want the private sector. We want families. We want people that care about education. The core of the initiative has environmental education at its core, where the schools coexist with nature, but we didn't want to leave it there. We want to support. So English it enriches the English that the kids are having, the social emotional. If we have enough resources, we'd love to help some of the kids that are staying behind in reading. Our kids in Nosara have been affected by the floods, by the huelgas, by the strikes, now by COVID. And we know of many children that in third grade are not reading. So we started a pilot program at Del Mar supporting these children, but we would like to expand and really elevate the quality of education in the entire area, which we believe will elevate the economic, social, and environmental aspects of the community.
That's a lot of ground to cover. So first, congratulations. Second, thanks to all those companies that helped a lot of this get started.
Yes,
that was really cool. It's awesome to see competitors unifying to make the place better.
Yes.
Really cool. I hope we can keep doing that. And I hope that grows too. I hope.
Yes.
What else you covered so much. Let's go back to your statement about people getting involved. Can you walk us through how people can get involved and what does it mean? And just for somebody out there who has no clue what we're talking about, they just came to the area, they want to relocate to the area, they want to get involved. Can you explain how people can do that?
Yes. And we believe we will not get to these model schools if we don't get involvement from everybody. Guardians itself can't do it. We're just helping propel it. But the collective impact approach of the private sector, the public sector getting involved will be necessary for this to get done. So
how do we do that?
So people can help. We just started a campaign called Padrinos, or the godparents of the schools. That one is for people that want to give. Maybe they don't have time to help, but they have the resources. And they contribute with $2,500 a year They can do 1 year or they can do multiple years. And the idea is that this money helps with the 7 schools, with a coordinator that helps volunteers for English, a coordinator that helps, same coordinator that helps with volunteers that can do yoga, for example. Giving the workshops and giving books to the students.
So it's a true multi-pronged approach. It's not just one thing, here you go, bye.
It covers many aspects, and we're trying to work with different strategies. So one is the godparents. We also want to gain a lot of volunteers. So, there's a lot of yoga people in town. If your passion is yoga and you would like to give back to the community, a lot of these kids have been completely, enclosed in their homes with fear. PE hasn't really started for the schools because of all the distancing. And these kids need a lot of movement. They need a lot of social emotional support. And you can surely do it through yoga. So, I want to call out all the yogis out there that would like to help. The principal from Serapio Lopez, they were telling us how there was a volunteer there and the kids absolutely love their yoga time. So if we can get some yogi teachers to help the schools, that would be great. Also, if English is your first language and you say you want to support the community, we want to team you up with the English teachers who need help, to get the kids more conversational. If you're good at teaching kids how to read, connect with us so we can connect you with the principals and the teachers who need the support in the classroom. So people can help with resources. That's always super helpful, but they can always help with their talents. And that's always very helpful too.
Gotcha. So you're clear on this point. They can donate. That's great. Or if you don't have the money to donate, you can donate your time. That's great. Or you can donate both.
Or you can donate both. That would be even better. And, the idea is that, the community keeps helping. But we are working with the school boards, and we are in alliance with Fundación Gente, which empowers school boards. So we're really working on doing trainings for school boards so they know how to raise money and how they can ask money from the government. And that's also, it's going to be very important. So they themselves are being strong. But in a community that has so many resources, so much wealth, not only economically, but intellectually, I believe that Nosara schools could become the best schools. The Nosara public schools could become the best schools in the world if everybody chips in.
As you say that in 2021 right now, how similar is it to when you started your first book and saying, you told me one time, I just said, all right, so you're looking to reach the community, and you were like, no, the world. I want to reach the world, Rich. And that caught my attention. Now it's 2021. We have a little bit of, not a little bit of progress. You have a lot of progress. Yeah. And now you're sitting here saying that you want Nosara schools, which historically you all have thought were not very good, mm-hmm. incredibly underfunded, and not paid attention to for so long. This challenging thing that you've been facing for years and others have been facing for years. You're now sitting in front of me right now saying you think you could spin it around where this becomes a model that grows not just in Costa Rica but the world. Are you saying the same thing that you said to me about the book essentially?
I'm saying the same thing about the book. I'm saying the same thing that Costa Rica did and changed its trajectory. Now it's a model to the world. So I think if, with faith, hope, and a good strategy, you can achieve anything, right? So right now, a lot of what has been born in Nosara, the 2 books that I've written, and what the things we're doing not only in Del Mar, but the public schools, we created an educational platform. And this educational platform has more than 106 hands-on activities in 12 environmental subjects that goes in hand with core subject areas. And we launched it in 2019. A lot of these activities we pilot at Del Mar. And this platform is being used from teachers from 22 countries. We have about 408 users right now that have downloaded more than 1,000 lessons. So I always see that what you do wherever you are always has a ripple effect. And it's very exciting to know that what is being born in Nosara is being used by teachers Latin America and Spain. And this is just the beginning. This started in 2019. So if we can show how the schools in a rural country in Nosara can change, and we show the strategies, then other schools and the country can do it. You know, Costa Rica we have such a strong top-down approach in everything that has to do with environmental policies. And what we're trying to do with Guardians is to empower that bottom-up approach. And we believe that school communities are that leverage to make true change in the entire country. We believe Costa Rica can become this true model of country that coexists with nature, and that the model started with our schools, and how we can then share this inspiring message with other countries that are neighboring or far from us.
Are you able to sit back ever and look and just be happy with the progress that's happening? Or are you constantly motivated by it's not enough, I got to keep going? Like, where are you at on that?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think it's exciting to see where we started, but I always wake up very excited to see where we're going. So I truly think that, I believe in little steps to achieve big things. I do believe. And I think as long as you have that goal to make that change, again, it's that trajectory, right? You sometimes go backwards a little bit, and 2020 was very hard for us to raise funds to continue doing, but we adapted. We created the Guardian Challenge, which, we're working very closely with the MEP, the Ministry of Education of Costa Rica. We launched it nationwide. This year it's going again nationwide, even stronger. And now we're thinking of doing it in the rest of Latin America as a copy. So I do believe that you look backwards to learn, but looking forward to your trajectory. Where are you reaching?
So you keep a comfortable medium between accomplishment and still needing to accomplish. Yeah. I'm reading this book right now of I think it's Rocket Man of Bram actually told me you should read this book, and it's how the Apollo 8 got to the moon. And I'm just so inspired to think how hard it was. It was a race at that moment, but how hard it was to the trajectory they needed to have to reach the moon and not shoot into space. And but the dream was there, the idea was there, and the feel of how we're going to get there help them do that precisely. So I do believe when humans have a goal and put their hearts and souls, they achieve amazing things. What are your biggest challenges, or what are your biggest obstacles to accomplishing your goal with this?
Our biggest challenges, well, we want to keep adding people to this goal. And we know that, even working with the Ministry of Education has been amazing. We have a cooperation agreement. And we know that, when you work with governmental institutions, everything's a lot slower, right? When you're an NGO, when you're a private company, you can move so fast. But when you work with government, you really learn to slow down. Everything is a process, everything takes down. So, it's learning to have that patience to work in that process. But I truly believe that's the biggest payoff. If you work with the government, hand in hand, what you can reach is always so much bigger than what you can reach just by yourself or just as in the private sector. So, yes, keeping working with the Ministry of Education. We actually have a great relationship.
That's nice to hear, because I know it was challenging to get it going.
Yes. Then we see we see principals, teachers, and students as agents of change. We see them as the ones that are going to be changing their school communities and their community and the country. Just for example, in Nosara, we see the challenges the teachers have. most people don't know that a lot of our teachers and principals come from Nicoya. So all these teachers are waking 4 a.m, preparing everything for the family, coming all the way here, doing 2 shifts, getting home at night, and attending their families. And, I think locally that's a challenge. Knowing that they have to leave, knowing that they have so many hours just commuting. And, that's something that it's part of the country. Teachers come from wherever they can. They get moved. Right now, we're very excited because all the principals that we're working with are very, very into the project. They're very collaborative. They're very excited. And, it's nice to see that. Sometimes they rotate the principals and, you have to start over again. But right now we have a song.
We should pause to congratulate you guys on achieving that, because getting buy-in from everyone, it's hard. It
takes time. And we believe that the number one things to get things accomplished through Guardians and through, personally, I believe that is relationships. So we build the relationships first, and then we go from there.
That makes sense. So the biggest pressing need to somebody listening to this, the way they could help you is either by donating their time or donating money, but getting involved somehow, some way. Where can we direct them to so they can find you?
Yes. They can find us through our website, which you can do guardiansofnature.org. There is a link there to Amigos de Costa Rica. So if people want to donate and be it tax deductible, they can do it through Amigos de Costa Rica, which is great. It's a great platform, which it's been very useful and supportive to us. Emily Arnold has been great. And one other challenge we've had is that, this COVID thing is slowly, the kids are back in school, but it's also going to be a slow process of, not all the kids are back in school. So we're going to make, I believe, very nice progress this year, but not what we would like, in normal conditions. So, that's a challenge that we can't do anything about.
I get you. So you want to bite into what you can.
Yes.
Do something about it and just keep going.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes.
It's gotten you this far.
Yes.
And again, congratulations on your success and making so much progress. It has been a crazy world since we last sat down to talk about all this. And I'm thrilled, and we're all honored to have you here in the community, and everyone around you who's working on this. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Rich. And, I would like to thank, there's so many people that have been supportive. Mary Smathers, which you just had here, Mary and David have been so supportive to Guardians. And, I truly, truly appreciate that.
Just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll gladly keep telling people about it. It's an honor to have you in as always.
Thank you so much, Rich.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode. We have a whole bunch of episodes on richburnham.com or my YouTube channel, Rich Burnham. And if you want audio only, go to wherever you get your podcast and check out the Nosara podcast with Rich Burnham.